Can you learn to sing? Hey everyone, what's happening? I'm Faz, and today I want to talk about singing. Now, when it comes to singing, some people say they were born with a gift. And on the flip side, other people say, oh, I can't sing at all. I have such a terrible voice. That is to say, you either have it or you don't. Nature or nurture? It's the age-old question. And the answer is, well, it's complicated. Now, before we answer these questions, we have to define what good singing is. Academically and objectively, good singing is defined as having really good intonation, which is being able to match pitch, and the accuracy of your pitch between intervals, and your rhythm, and how steady and consistent your singing is. And bad singing is a lack of those qualities.
Okay, that was good. Stop.
The less objective parts of being a good singer are your timbre, which is the quality of your voice, and your expression or interpretation of a piece. But we will talk about those later. For now, I want to focus on the objective parameters. Let's talk about what you're born with. Using your voice is actually an extremely complicated process. We all match pitch and rhythm in everyday speech. If we didn't, we would all talk very monotone with an even rhythm, but we don't. And singing takes that entire process a step further with very deliberate pitch and varying rhythms. So what does that mean for us? Well, unfortunately, about 2 to 4% of the world's population suffers from amusia, which is a difficulty in hearing fine-grained changes in pitch. You may have heard of this being called tone deaf. These individuals have a hard time determining the changes in pitch accurately. They may know that a sound is slightly higher or lower, but they can't really determine by how much. It's kind of like seeing a blurry photo. You can get the gist of it, but all the details are lost. Some rare cases are so bad that it even affects their ability to speak properly. Now, for the rest of us, we vary according to a number of factors. So there's our larynx, which is our voice box, and the size of it determines our natural vocal range. The size and capacity of your lungs are important. The bigger they are, the better for your voice. The way your vocal cords work, air gets pushed out and then they vibrate. So with stronger, better lungs, you can have more control and better support of your voice. Also, the general shape of your head and to some degree the rest of your body determines your timbre, which again is just the quality of your voice. And then a really important part is your brain. The size and density of different areas of your brain contribute quite a bit. If you have a larger cerebellum, you have better coordination, which in turn helps your vocal production. And most importantly is a region of your brain called Heschl's gyrus. Now, this is a region of your brain. It is a ridge along the edge of the area that contains your primary auditory cortex, basically the part that surrounds all your sound processing. Researchers say that if you have a really well-developed Heschl's gyrus, you were born to be a musician. So in general, when it comes to genetics and what you're born with, your body shape, your lungs, your larynx, and different regions of your brain all contribute to your ability to sing. But even with all of that, it's only half the story. The other half is your environment, particularly when you're a child. Those that grew up in households that were surrounded by music and singing performed 40% better on singing exercises than those who didn't. Early childhood exposure to various forms of music is crucial in musical development. Studies even suggest exposing your child in the womb to music can help their pitch discrimination later in life. They also found that your singing ability deteriorates when it's not engaged. Districts that don't have mandatory musical training after certain grades find children get worse over time, and those that continue musical education continue to rapidly improve until puberty. Although your voice develops and goes through changes your entire life, this time between the ages of 4 and 12 are crucial. This is the prime time for development because those ages are when your body and brain are going through fundamental growth, and that translates to fundamental skills. Okay, Faz, so I don't have amusia, but I also didn't grow up with a lot of music or singing. Can I still sing, or is it hopeless? No, it is definitely not hopeless. Although training and engagement is the most efficient and effective when you're younger, it can still help you later in life. People with vocal training performed 30% better on singing exercises even after adjusting for environmental factors. You can learn to control your breath better, increase your lung capacity in general, learn to match pitch better, and increase your vocal agility. You may not be able to change your vocal range or change the quality of your voice to sound pure and traditionally beautiful. Like, I'm not saying if you pull up your bootstraps and work hard, you're gonna be the next Beyonce. That's not realistic. But you can get noticeably better and get good enough to carry a tune. And the number one thing you can do to improve your singing is to have a positive attitude. It's true, I'm serious. I know it sounds ridiculous and hokey, but being nervous and anxious has such a negative effect on your voice. Have you ever been so anxious that you realize you're holding your breath, or so scared that you can't speak? Anxiety and worry have a profound effect on your voice. It can actually constrict your vocal cords, and it can make your breath very shallow and ragged, making it so that your breath control is really bad. So adopting a more laid back and non-judgmental approach can actually help your singing quite a bit. To make you feel even better about this, we tend to be harshest on ourselves when we're judging singing. Several studies show that most adults think they are worse singers than they actually are. Their perceived singing capabilities were much lower than their actual skills when assessed. It's important to remember that these studies can only track objective metrics, pitch accuracy, rhythm, all those things. And yeah, they're important. Don't get me wrong, but they're only important to a certain degree. They can't measure subjective things, like how much you like someone's voice and how well their interpretation or expression is for any given piece. There are plenty of really famous singers out there that are objectively not the best, but people absolutely love their singing. Did you catch Lady Gaga at the 95th Oscars?
I see that you're hurting. Why'd you take so long?
Her technique wasn't great. She was slouched, breathy. Some of her notes were even flat. Nobody cared. It was an incredible performance because it was so emotional. The emotion always comes first. Other examples are Tom Waits. I mean, he practically just talks half the time and he's one of my favorite artists. Bob Dylan historically is a terrible singer. He even makes fun of himself half the time, but he's number 15 on Rolling Stone's greatest singers list. Louis Armstrong's voice is iconic, but it's not traditionally or conventionally beautiful in any way. But you can hear the smile in his voice, and that brings me joy, even though his voice is really rough. So don't worry so much about being absolutely perfect. Be authentic and convey your emotions. So, the big question, can you learn to sing? The short answer is yes, but like most things in life, the real answer is somewhere in the middle. How easily you learn and the overall sound of your voice can be determined through a combination of these three factors: your genetics, the environment you grew up in, and your training. But remember that you're an individual. Be authentic to who you are and the message you're trying to get across. There's that famous quote, people may not remember what you said to them, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Your voice is yours and yours alone. It's unique. People don't connect to the notes you're singing, they connect to you. So the best thing you can do to improve your singing is lean into what makes you you. And that's something I gotta work on too. And now I would love to hear from you. So let me know, do you sing? Do you have trouble letting go and just being in the moment when you do? Have you always been able to sing, or did you learn over time? I know I'm in the latter camp. I was a terrible singer before, but I think I'm decent now. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like it, subscribe, share with your friends, do all those great things. It helps so much more than you know. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Faz. Have a great day and enjoy yourself.